Good evening, my non-existent viewers. I am watching the Creek episode of Bluey with Pilkas the Vilkas. And yes, my stuffed wolf is named Pilkas because Pilkas means gray in Lithuanian and Vilkas means wolf. And it's funny because, like, gray wolf, right? Pilkas Vilkas. You know, the gray wolf is the species of wolf that's the ancestor to, like, all domestic dogs. So when I got this wolf, stuffed wolf, I just named him Pilkas the Vilkas. And now whether dogs are, like, still the same species of wolf or their own species descended from wolf is still much open to debate, but I've met, like, 2 wolf dogs at the zoology club at CSU, and they said that wolf dogs do not make good pets, like domestic dog and, like, wolf hybrids. And if you raise a wolf in captivity, it's not going to act the same as a domestic dog. Just keep it real with you guys. But anyways, you know, I got Disney Plus, like, back in February, reluctantly. And I made a whole tangent about this in my Snapchat story, you know, back then, because, like, you know, I've been back working at a dog daycare since October, and, like, the work in that place has made me want to watch Bluey way more, because Bluey is, like, one of those, like, hit, like, kid shows from nowadays. It's like, you know, my generation, born in the late 90s, early 2000s, grew up watching SpongeBob and Avatar: Last Airbender and Dora the Explorer and stuff like that. Well, like, kids born in the late 2010s and early 2020s grew up watching shows like Bluey. And I've been told that Bluey, like Sesame Street, is a kids show that's, like, really praised for addressing, like, difficult subjects to kids too. And it's weird because, like, Bluey is an Australian cartoon. Like, I already talked about this in my Snapchat. Like, I made a whole Snapchat story about this. And, like, here's my thing with social media. Like, I use Facebook for, like, Facebook, I've been on that for as long as I've been making YouTube videos. Like, way back since my freshman year of high school. Again, Facebook is, like, for old people, right? I've been on it since 2013. And then Twitter, or should I say X, or whatever the heck it's called, I don't care, I use that mostly for promoting my YouTube channel, right? And, Snapchat, because Snapchat is, like, I only really follow people on Snapchat if I actually know them in person. It's just more of a convenient way for texting. And once a blue moon, I, like, make random Snapchat stories as I get things off my chest. And I use Instagram for just, like, when I feel like drawing pictures and posting artwork and stuff like that. Right? But, like, I made a whole thing because, like, Bluey being an Australian cartoon, that's from Australia, right? I also grew up watching The Wiggles. And the Wiggles are Australian too, just like Bluey. And when I was a kid, for whatever reason, like, I remember watching the Wiggles in, like, preschool, and, like, I never really noticed that the Wiggles were Australian until, like, as I got older, I noticed the difference in accents and whatnot. And that's the thing, it's like, that kind of reinforced, and, like, I remember being a kid growing up in, like, you know, here in New Jersey, like, in such a diverse area with, like, both loads of Catholic kids and loads of, like, Jewish kids and loads of, like, other religious kids, and, like, and yeah, it is, like, predominantly white and Jewish, but I also met a lot of, like, Asian kids and Indian kids and, like, Latin American kids and black kids growing up, and I learned about Native Americans, and it's like, I never really noticed differences, like, religious belief or skin color or, like, ethnic backgrounds and whatnot as a little kid. Like, I didn't even know the word racist meant until I was, like, in 5th grade, right? And, like, as I got older, I realized that, like, hey, prejudice and, like, racism and sexism and stuff, like, and, like, you know, all this form of hatred that exists in the world, it really is due to it's taught. Like, no one gets that way by accident. Just, like, it happens on purpose because people do things that harm you and you're negatively affected by that, or someone else you grew up around tells you about a certain other person or thing, and you, as you get older, you resist that, right? So I feel like, you know, because you see this not just with humans, but with animals too, right? If you put a wolf pup in the same room with like a bison calf, the two, if you just like let them, like the two babies are naturally going to play together. But if you introduce them, again, there are exceptions. If you introduce them as that when they're adults, right? They like, the wolves hunt bison in the wild. The wolves, they hunt elk, they hunt bison, they hunt all kinds of other animals, and they fight other predators too, like mountain lions and bears, depending on where you're at, of course. But again, if you have a wolf pup in the same room with like a bear cub or a mountain lion kitten or a baby bison or a baby deer, the two are going to be friends when they get older. And again, that's how these unlikely animal friendships happen. There's like that one animal sanctuary like down south where like it was a lion, a tiger, and a bear were all rescued from drug dealers, and they grew up being best friends. Or like, or like a tiger cubs grew up with orangutan babies. Again, like tigers eat orangutans in Sumatra, right? But they still grew up being friends. And again, it's like when I was a kid, no one, none of the adults, my parents, my teachers, the priests of my church, no one ever told me to like be afraid of people who don't look like me or think the same way that I do. We all grew up being friends, and yeah, not all kids get along, of course, but from my experience, happened for other reasons. The easy thing with learning Lithuanian as a language compared to other languages is that the words are always pronounced as they're spelled, right? Not like English or French, where there's like a lot of different silent letters and a lot of words. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, stay beastly. Have a good and healthy rest of your May.